Yeah. So we will then, I'm asking that if one has a question, we must just raise your hand, and then we'll then give you opportunity to say whatever you want to say. Yeah. I see Mr. Lerato already saving a hand. I'm not sure whether it is a question or it was a previous hand. Mr. Lerato, you can unmute yourself.
Sorry, it was a previous question. I
Okay,
think I'm
great.
sorted out because I was looking for the spreadsheet and I haven't found it. But
great, thank you.
So
we get the spreadsheet from the invite. On the invite, there is a link there. You get the spreadsheet. And then this presentation that you see on the screen, check on there's a link on the chat. You just click there, and then you're going to get this presentation. I'm hoping everyone should be fine from that angle, right? So today, as I've said, we'll talk about pivot chart and pivot table. And then we'll deal with the issue of filtering, slide start, and also pivot charts. So what is the difference between the pivot table and the normal table, right? Really the difference is just that with the pivot chart, it's work with the data that is with a huge data. Unlike with the normal table where maybe we're having a couple of 10 rows and 5 columns, with a pivot chart, that's where you are using it if you are having very big data. I think if you can see from the spreadsheet, I believe we are having a couple of rows there. Using normal table to manipulate that is not that easier. Hence, we have a pivot table and pivot charts that it allows us to work with the data. So this is what is the content of today. And then as normal, friends, if you have a question, you just raise your hand and then you let us know, and then we're going to give you opportunity to ask those questions, right? And let's keep unmute yourself if you do not, if you don't have any questions, so that we don't have to interfere one another. So, as I mentioned, this will be really just a practical one. I just gave you an understanding of what is the pivot table, so that you can really distinguish it, right? So, what we'll be doing, we'll just go straight to the spreadsheet, so that we can just start working on the pivot table, right? The spreadsheet just gives the high level of what do you do, where to click, and all that. But my preference is that we must not read, rather do it, right? So that if you have a questions, then we'll just deal with them there. Yeah. Today we'll be on the tab insert. If you open your data spreadsheet, we'll be dealing with the things that are within the insert tab. So this is just the procedure. I don't have to go through this. I will just go straight to the data so that we can work with that. Slicer is just the fancy filter. We talked about filter previously, but the slicer is just another ways of filtering the pivot table. So you will see that. And then of course, chart is just a normal chart. It's just that it's a pivot chart because we are using a pivot table to extract those charts there. Nothing fancy there, right? So I will unshare this presentation. I'll go straight to the spreadsheet. Yeah, nice. Right. I believe, friends, you can see the data that I am sharing, right? Let me just do this. I understand you have, you can see the data, and then you also have this data. Just raise your hand if you experience any problem accessing this data. So I'm hoping that everyone is having this data, yeah? So you can see that we are having this data. It's quite a huge one, right? I think we are having how many rows? We're having 244 rows, right? So having this data, trying to manipulate it using the normal ways is becoming a challenge. Hence, then we end up having the problem. Yeah, Frida, we do have a question.
Yes, sir. I do not have the data that you are referring to. Where can I access it?
So what I'm saying is, we must check your invite. The invite I've sent to you, where you got these details. Yeah, you just read that that invite. There's a link there to get this this spreadsheet. The invite that you've sent, that you receive these logins, you must just use that to get these details. Yeah.
Are you referring to the attachment that is there?
No, read the email. Read that. Open that invitation. That there is a story there. Read that, and then you will see. You'll see. This week is the week 4. You just click that link to get the data from that link.
I'm on it, but I don't have that link on it. It just shows an attachment of slides.
I've just attached the link on the chat.
Yes, thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So yes, let's proceed. So I do believe that everyone now will get the link, right? So what we are going to do here now is we are going to work with the pivot chart. And then to get the pivot chart, why are we using pivot chart? As I said, we're using it if we have a huge data, right? And another thing that we do is that we are going to use the insert. To get the pivot chart, you use the insert, and then you'll see on the left-hand side, you say the pivot table, right? Easily arrange and summarize complex data in a pivot table, yeah? So complex may mean in the sense that is a huge data, and then you want to see how you can manipulate it, right? But there are some things that we need to do first when you deal with the, I'll say generally with Excel, right? You need to have a very clean data. Clean data in the sense that you don't have spaces, you don't have empty cells. You must have a headers and all that, because if you have a data that does not, doesn't have a headers, for example, you'll find it difficult to manipulate, right? So it's always key for you to have a very nice clean data. And then, as I mentioned, have a clean data, but the most important thing is you need to know what are you looking for in that particular data, right? I think in our case here, we can call this maybe the patient data, or whatever the case we may call it, right? So in our case, we'll assume, this is the data for the people affected or infected by the COVID. I just give this as a typical thing so that we can be on the same page, understanding what we are trying to talk about, right? So normally we have this data. This data is count of this is 240, and then you need to, one may be saying, you know what, can you show me how many patients do we have per province, for example, right? You can see we have a province here. Obviously, like previously I've been mentioning, there's a couple of ways to do that. You can count them if you have a time, right? Check Limpopo, you still have Limpopo here, but you'll take the whole day doing such work, right? If you have this kind of data to answer such question, you should be in a position to use a pivot table. But the key about pivot table is you must have a very clean and complete table for you to use that. Normally what you do with a pivot table, if you work on it, the nice part with it is that assuming that your data is clean, you don't necessarily have to highlight it first. I've been preaching that when you work with Excel, you must highlight where you want to do things first. But with this one, you just click anywhere in the table, and then you will go to the pivot table. You will click on it, yeah? You will click on it, and then because you are having the complete data, it will show you. It will show you to say, okay, I understand you want to work on this data. I believe you can see there. Also here, the table, it will tell you The sheet is a record, is a patient's records, and then you will start from A5 up until the last row. The last row is K 224. And then I mentioned previously that if you see something with the dollar, it means that it must keep that the constant. It must put I talk about the dynamic and the relative and the absolute referencing. So anything with the dollar sign, it just means that you must keep that static. Yeah. So that this is what the table is trying to say, right? So you just go there, you click, and you will see something like this. Yeah. You click within the table, you click the pivot table, you click OK, you are going to see something like this. Yeah. So my first question, I said, show me one, will say, and then you can see here it says to build a report, choose the field from the pivot table field list. Where is the pivot table field list? Is this site. Yeah. This is what we have. And then with the pivot table, there are 4 important fields for one to work on. We know about filter, right? We know how to use a filter. We did this in week how many? I think that was week 2. There's a row and column and the value. Yeah. So if you want something to be represented as a column, you will just pull it from the field up there to there. If you want something to be as part of the column, you will just also drag there. The values, obviously, is a value. You can't drag something non-value to this side. You can't drag the name, for example, or the surname to here. You drag it only if it's the value, right? For example, let's say one needs to know, as I mentioned, how many patients do we have per province, right? What you do is you just click the province, you drag it, you put it here. You will see from the left-hand side, it pulls those provinces. Yeah? Or maybe firstly, one may say, how many provinces do we have in here? Right? How many provinces? I think if you click it here, it will come here. But I think this won't be the correct way, because it's just counting the rows. It doesn't count the uniqueness of them, right? So if you put it this side, it shows you all of them, right? And then what you do, if you want to get how many patients do we have per province, you will then, you can pull a surname, right, to the values. Immediately, it will just calculate it to you to say, okay, Eastern Cape, we have in 36 and other province, and then total number of patients we have is how much? Is 239. You know, we talked about during the formulas about the count. So it already by default, counting how many people we have, right? Now, if, for example, you want the columns to be, the province to be as a column, you will drag it here and then you will see how it appears. You see? So you can just play with it any way you like it, right? So I think, but I will believe this is how will prefer it to look like. Yeah. So this is what we have. Other thing that we can do is that you can name this, right? Because you can see, because I dragged the surname here, it just says a count of the surname. But maybe you can give it a very meaningful name there. You can maybe write whatever, you find appropriate from the end. Number of patients per province, or whatever the case may be. So the point I'm saying that you can put this into be something that is more meaningful from your end. So the point is, these are editable. You can edit this. Yeah. Are we happy with that? And then at times, right, you may need to say, you know what, I want to filter the provinces. I want to filter these provinces maybe by what? By maybe a gender, for example. So if you want to use a gender as a filter, what you can do, you can drag a filter here, you put it here. Now we're talking about the filter. We already just go straight to the filter. So what is going to help you is that if one could say, show me how many patients are there, male patient, right, at each province or in each province. Because now there's a specific, right? It's talking about the condition. So you must use a filter. What you do for it to easier, you just drag it here, and then you will see here. It will show you here on A1. You say gender, and then you'll see say all, meaning that the data you see below is showing you all the genders. I mean, female and males, right? If in your case you want all the males, you just click here, and then you will see here. You will see all is highlighted. How do you select the specific ones? You can just click on it, and then in our case, let's go to males. You click on it, you say okay. I mean, just other thing. Just see here how many disputes there are. How many? 2, 3, 9, right? If you select, you can come here and say select all. It's going to activate all of them, and then you will just untick the one that you don't want. Yeah, you just untick the one that you don't want, and then you go, and then it will select the males based on this criteria. So in our case, you can see now, out of 239, we are having 103 males. The other way around, you can do that. You can unselect here males. You get that. Yeah. So the filter, I just want to emphasize the issue of the filter to say the filter is easier. It's easy to use a filter when you have this type of data, or when you are using the pivot table. Yeah. So other thing that maybe we can do is that one may be saying, I need to give me the table that shows the provinces and also the gender. So for example, if maybe one say, okay, let's just do this. Let's just say everyone should be all. You can take the gender. Let's do this. You can take the gender to the column. Do you see the difference now? So it shows you these fellows based on their gender. Yeah. So the nice thing with this one is that you can just drag and then just see what type of data you are seeing, right? So you can then swap this province can come this side, and gender come this side. Do you see? So this is what we can do with Excel. And then on top of this, you can still just, maybe what the other thing you can do, you can drag the, okay, this is supposed to be quarantine. Let's just assume this is a quarantine. Let's say graduation, right? You just say, where is that? Well, I just want it to be more meaningful, right? We can call it maybe a quarantine, so that I wanted to mention something. So you can still, so assuming this field, which one did I use for like? Okay, I wanted to see if I cannot change it, but it's fine, right? So, for example, let's drag amount. This amount owed by them on the maybe hospital, right? Do you see? So, if maybe one saying, show me the patients per gender also show the amount that they are owing, right? That's how you can represent it. Other thing that you can do is you can just swap between the gender and amount. Take a gender below and then amount goes there, and then see how it represents the data. So in this case, amount comes first and then the gender comes below. That's how it looks like, right? And then as I mentioned, you can still take a gender to the column and then you do see how it shows. And then also you can take a province the other side. So there are a couple of ways of using the pivot table, but the most important thing is, as I've been mentioning before, know what you are looking for. Otherwise, you'll end up just having data that doesn't say anything, right? Have a huge data, understand what you are looking for. You may not know how to do that, but you should be in a position to say what type of data you are looking for, yeah? And then to remove this field, there are two ways, right? You can uncheck it here. You can uncheck amount, and also you can click on it if either in the province or gender. You will just click here and then you can say remove, and then you see it will remove. Is there anyone with a question so far? So this is just how the layout of pivot table looks like. So pivot table, you have a huge data, you just want to answer some questions around that. So this is how the pivot table work. And then there are cases where you see you're having provinces like this, we're having the number of patients, but sometimes we have a percentage here. One need to know how many, I can see this is the number, we're having 36 patients, but how do I get the percentages? So maybe to say in 30% of this, how much is that, right? What you do normally is, if you want to get the percentage, you have an actual number here, right? And then you want the percentage here. What you do, you will just drag the surname again. You just drag it here, and then it comes under here. You have both of them. You can see you have both of them, right? To change one of these rows to be the percentages, you just click one of the cells, you right click, there's something here. You say show value as, yeah? Show value as, and then you're saying, show me the percentage of the total, percentage of the grand total. So you will see, it will change this to say 33% is 15% of the, Eastern Cape, right? 15% of the patients are coming from Eastern Cape, for example. Yeah, maybe I'll just go back so that everyone can understand. I'm saying there are cases where you want your data to be present, to have the quantity here, but also have a percentages to show you, to say, okay, this is a 33, then these are actual numbers, but I want the percentage of this 33 on the overall. So what do, you pull the surname again, you put it underneath here, it's going to show you like this. It's the same values, right? If you want this to be percentage, you just click one of these cells, you right click, show values, and then you say percentage grand total. Yeah, I see there's a chat here from someone asking something. Oh, this chat. Right. So colleagues, yeah, I will deal with those after that. So this is how you get the percentages. Yeah. And then, as I mentioned, then you can rename this to be something else. Yeah. Percentages. You can just write it like this, or patient percentages, right? You can write it like that. Do we all follow? Right? This just to emphasize that you can do whatever anything that you want there. Yeah. Are we fine? Well, yes. Thank you. So now, maybe perhaps now you might need to, you want to sketch this. You want to have what do you call the chart. What you do then when you are here, you just go to insert normal way, right? And then you will see in our case, it's a pivot chart. You can still use others, right? Because you can see this is a simple one. But there are cases, I'll show you another one which is more complicated, right? You can just come here, you click anywhere in the table, right? It looks like the previous lesson where it's talk about the charts. Then you're going to show you here to say, you want to put it as a column, the line, or you want to put it as a bar. I think we talked much about this last week, right? I will not going to go much on this. Now, there are cases, so let's just remove this. Let's just remove all of this. We remove all of this. We remove all of this. Now, there are cases where you say you are having the patients, because I think, for example, if you with the COVID-19, age is something, is one of the biggest factor, right? One just needs to know how many, the age of our patients, right? What you do, you will just, if you want to put this as a row, you just, this, I didn't want, this thing is spoiling my party. So if you want the age like this, these are the youngest person is what is 12 years, and then the other one, the oldest is 100 years, right? And then there are cases where I want to say, I want you to group this. I've already given the answer, right? I want you to group the age, right? With the interval of the decade, 10 years, right? How do you do that? One need to know how many people from 0 to 10, and then 20 to 30, just like that up until 100, right? How to group this? You will just, you put them, right? There's a row like this. You have them, and then you just right click, and then you say group. When you click group, you will have something here, say grouping, right? So you'll see, say start at and ending at. So start at, it gives you the minimum value that you have. We have a minimum value. Our minimum value is what? Is 12, right? So let's just say you want to group everything with the from 0, right? From 0, and then our ending year is what? Is 100, and then you must group by, if maybe you want to be interval of 5, you can do that, right? You say maybe you want to group an interval of 5. So let's just try this one, right? You'll see it's going to group your age, is with the interval of 5, from 10 to 14, just like that, right? But I really prefer to have something to do with the age of 10, right? But other question, now you know how to group them, né? But to say how many are these people? How many people, based on our data, on this data, how many people, right, are between maybe 70 to 79? Maybe this, because these are really the vulnerable people, maybe, right? To do that, as I mentioned, if you want to calculate something, you must use the value. So what you do then is you drag the value to I mean, you set the age to this side. You just drag it, and then boom, it gives you this this table. Three clicks, you have this. Yeah. So I believe everyone can follow there. So that's what we have, right? But one other person may be saying, but I need to know now. I know. Okay, I think the largest you can still do that thing of percentage. Can you change this as a percentage? Put the age. Let's say age and then percentage. Can you do that from your end, friends? We have done it. Can you just do that, and then when you are done, show me by the hand. When you are done with it, show me by a hand. I need a percentage here. I need to be saying, out of all these guys, 60 to 70 to 60 and 60 to 69. This is an X amount. This is an X percentage. Can we do that? If the first one who's done, can you just show me by hand? How do you do that? How do you show the percentages here? Yeah. Let's do that. I believe people can unmute themselves, right? But let's do that. Put the percentage here so that this can be more presentable. I think even Mkize, because I can see sometimes, I'm not judgmental, but I see some of the stats that they are presenting as maybe some of us can see the in terms of presenting the data. Yeah. So let's do that, and the first person can just show me by raising their hand that they are done. But I still see, Mr. Larato, your hand is still up. Maybe you can just take it so that we know that this was the previous hand. Let's do that. Are we winning? Okay, let me unmute everyone. Okay. Are we winning, friends?
Okay.
Okay, but now what's another one?
Which one is
The hospital.
Oh,
On my side, I think
somebody was telling me.
What's this? The workbook that you had,
Okay.
and it's slightly different from the workbook that I have, so I got lost actually along the way. But yeah, so
okay. Are we fine? Are we getting? I'm saying let's get the percentage here. Please let me know if I went too fast or you are still trying it, right? Let's get the percentage here. Katleo, yeah?
yes. Oh no, I was saying, you know, I know that we're talking about percentages now, but a bit of a concern that I have is the workbook that I have on my side compared to the one that you're working on. They look slightly different. So obviously then I wouldn't be in line with what you're doing.
Really? So you don't have, I believe it should be marked then, maybe from your end. Marks. The column should be marked if it's at the age.
Sure. Because I'm not sure if you're working on the one that you sent today.
Yes,
or the one that you sent
maybe that will be a good thing to. Friends, are you not having this data? Data something like this.
I do have the data on my end, but then I think there's something wrong with my office because now it's grayed out. The pivot table, it's grayed out. But then I'm following what needs to be done.
Okay. So, yeah. Mr. Katleo, don't you have this data?
No, the one that I have, it's the one that you initially sent, and it has three sheets. It's a patient records, function records, and as well as patient results. But
can you not look at the patient's
records?
What do we have there?
No, what I have is functions records, not patients records.
Oh, but let's just check the data. Is that data not something like this?
No, it's not even close. The one that I have, it's actually incomplete. It has filtered. It's filtered, but on the filtered information that we have here, it's incomplete. There isn't anything else. I only have patients, age, and amount. Nothing
so
else.
what is the name of that? Sorry, colleagues. What is the name of that? The name of that?
It's online bootcamp data for week 2, week 4, and week 5.
And
Yes.
week 5, yes. That's
Yes.
exactly the same one that I have. But on the sheets at the bottom, I only have 3 sheets. And these 3 sheets, it's patient records.
Yeah.
I think patient records is fine with the first one, right? And then I have function records instead of patient records. And then the last one that I have is patient results. And the patient results that I have on my side, it's incomplete.
Okay, can you? The point I'm trying to sort of, without wasting time. Do you have this data?
Even if someone else can send it to me right now, that I would appreciate that.
It's the link that was sent earlier on the chat.
Yeah. Did you see that, Katleo? The link on the chat.
I've opened mine from the link.
Yeah. So there is one on the link. I believe you should be able to find that link. Check on the chat. The latest one from Ntsikelelo Mateve is that one. Yeah. All right. I assume that we should be fine, right? Any other concern? Maybe before we go, any other concern around the data?
A quick question from my side. So now, how I would do this, I would just copy the data on the column that I want to do the percentage on, paste on the right, then do the percentage formula.
Yes. Yeah, that's what you should do. So what do we do then? Let's do it. Because I thought maybe we should be full. So we need the age percentages, right? You must pull the age again to the values. Yeah? You pull the age again to the values. Right? You put it again to the values, you'll see you'll have both 2 of them. Right? And then we say the second one, we should get the percentages. And then I mentioned that you just click one of those cells, you right click, you go to show values as yeah. So you go here, right click, show values as, and then you go to the percentage of grand total. Yeah. And then that's what you're going to get. Is there any difficulty there, friend? Mr. Masuka Meng, are we fine there?
Yes, I'm following. I think I'm with the other colleagues that the data is slightly different. However, I think the purpose, I think I've been following, and I am actually following. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. Yeah, so let's get the data from the. I'll just put it again on the chart to everyone. There, that is the data that you should be using. My apologies for that. My apologies for that. For that colleagues. But I do believe that we are following, right? So to get the percentage, really this is just about pulling and all that. So if you want it to appear twice, 3 times, you will just drag it, put the age, drag it there. Yeah. So you can see I put it the 3rd time, but I don't want the 3rd time. Then I'll just remove it here. Click, remove the field. And then what you'll do, right click, show values as, and then, because we need the grand total, right? You'll see. So you will see then that this age group is the largest. the age group. Okay, yes, yeah. So I think I'll talk about logistics. Yes, of course, we will get the everything, colleagues, yeah? So you can see, then you can able to answer the questions now, right? We have this age group, majority of people, you can see this age group from 10 to 19, you know, we have only 3%, but this age group, 80 to 89, is the largest group, right? And then we can answer some questions related to this. But other question maybe say, where are these, from which province are these colleagues? How do you do that? As I mentioned, with this, the beauty part with this, the key is that know what you are looking for. Then you will you can, because one needs the provinces. I'm happy with this, but I need the province. You can just drag it and see how it looks like. This one, well, it looks not too bad. Let's take a province to this side. No. Let's take a province here. Right? So you are going to put it differently. You can put it differently. So you say Eastern Cape, and then it shows all those people from there. Right? You can see that the whole of Eastern Cape, there are how many? 15%. Right? And then it's going to categorize them based on that. It's going somewhere that I wanted to. I'll talk about what you just saw now, right? So this is another way that you can do it. Let's take this percentage out so that you can see it clearly. So you have something like this, yeah. Then maybe you can take you can put it you can put it like this, right? So you'll see that. Colleagues, you can do whatever you like from your end, right? I just wanted to put it this way. I like it this way from my side. You will see that this age group is even the largest. Gauteng actually 89 to they having 22. Someone may be saying, but who are these people? I want to know the actual who are these people, right? To get the specific numbers of who are these people, you just double click this number, and then it's going to show you specifically those people that you are looking for. Let's just go back again. Someone says maybe the Mr. Matabata from Limpopo. I want to say who are our people? Who are these people who are between 90 and 100? We really need to give them extra, medication, or we want to take them elsewhere, right? These are the people, they are 9, but you want to know, Minister of Health, maybe this is South Africa, as you can see, right? It's 9 provinces. But I want to say, who are these people? Who are these people from my province who are, 90 to 100? You just click this 9, the number. Then it will immediately show you specifically these are the people that you are looking for. That's what the beauty around this pivot table. It's very flexible. It's, all those fancy words. Flexible, agile, if that is a correct word, right? So that's what you can do there. Now with this, one may be saying, you know what, this data is just the numbers. Can you not put this in with the charts? I've done the chart previous lesson. How do you do that? As I mentioned, it's just the easiest thing for one to do. You will just go to insert, pivot table, selecting any of these cells. You click them, voila. You have something like this. Yeah, and then as I mentioned, you can then use a column, and then, or you can use a stacked. But remember, I think we talked about the stack that you stack the same data, right? If it's you stack the same data, you can put it there. If a line makes a sense, you put it that way. As I mentioned, the pie, it won't necessarily tell you the whole story. You will see here it takes the people who are aged between 10 and 19, right? And then you have a bar chart. I don't want to go much on this, but you can select if you like it. You just click on it and then you say, okay. Then you will see that chart. From here, and then you can, you can see the whole story there. Or if you don't like it, I think we talked about it previously, colleagues, you go to design, you change it. Maybe you're saying, I want to go to column, I want to stack these ages, because they're ages anyway. You stack the same things. So you stack it like this. Yeah? You stack it like this. So you will see, from this you'll see, let's go here. I wanted these fellows to, the provinces to appear, and the legend is here, yeah? Okay, I will, let's swap these things like this, let's see. Yeah, maybe this will be the nice way of looking at it. As I mentioned, right, you can do whatever you want. You can push this to be, to be Y, and then this to be X, whatever you want, right? So from here, you'll see that this age group, we have quite a lot of them, right? And then the question is, which province is having lots of them? As I mentioned, you can see this Gauteng, the color. This color is Gauteng, right? So the idea is that you can answer, or you can answer any question anyhow with this pivot table. And then as we said about the x-axis, you can name it here to tell it what are these. This is the what? Number of, this will be the number of patients. Yeah, and then colleagues, yes, I will share this on YouTube. I've created the channel there. I'll send all these things. I believe by tomorrow I should be having all the session from 1 to 4 on YouTube, and then people can play them from there. Yeah, so let's just focus on this one here, and then I will share the whole spreadsheet from there. Right? And as I mentioned, right, let's assume this is a quarantine. This is when yes or no's and all those things, right? You can also just pull here to see how many of these people are at quarantine places. Yeah. So you can just pull it like this. But I like, maybe let's start from scratch so that we can come up with it step by step. Yeah. Oh, okay, no problem. Right. So let's start from scratch so that we can able to answer some question based on this one. So someone will be saying, like as I mentioned, someone will say, how many people are coming from my province? You can able to see them, and then even if you want these specific people, if one is concerned from this case that people from age 10 and 19, they have a COVID. Who are these people? Let's trace them. So you just click the number. You click the number, you get those number of people. Yeah. So now you have something like this, but then maybe you want to say, who are at the quarantine, places, for example. I'm saying, let's assume this graduate. This graduate means quarantine, right? If we put it here, and then I mentioned that the graduate means quarantine, it means either they are in quarantine, no, or yes. Yeah? So you have something like this. So at the end, actually, I'm looking for something like this. You see how this one looks like. Let's build something like this, where you see these people, this is I believe this is the correct spelling, right? Something like someone will say, I want to know how many people from Eastern Cape are in quarantine. Yes means, right? So you can see from Eastern Cape, people are 22. And then these people, maybe they're recovered, they are 14, or whatever the case may be from here, right? So let's us try to build something like this from our data, yeah? So we can start fresh from here, just to recap so that everyone follows. We have a data, we go to insert, we say pivot table is going to show you to say, oh yes, my understanding that this is a data, this is a table that you want to use. You can even confirm here from which cell to which cell. Then you say, okay, it opens this, yeah? So from here, we're saying that I need to get graduates. As I said, this is this quarantine. Yes or no? How many? Maybe we want to say, just give me how many people are in quarantine and how many they are not. You just take this graduate field. You just take this graduate field, you put it here. Now you can see your recovery, this is much better than people who are already in quarantine, right? 105, there are people who are, recovered, right? The other question is, which provinces, right? You can just pull the province, you can just, at least you know what you're looking for. Then you can just drag it and put it here, and then see if this is what really you're looking for. So you'll see that, no, as I mentioned, I think the recovery, for example, maybe we may say that Gauteng, right, is recovering more than any other province, given this number. They're 31, right? And maybe which province? Western, or no, Gauteng still, right? There are people, 27 people who are still in quarantine, something like that, right? The other thing, maybe say, I'm wondering the age, which age group, right? You just drag your age, you hold it here. And then I'm saying, looking at this, it makes sense, but one may be saying, no, can you show me this graphically? Put the chart so that I can say it's easier for me to deal with. And the same thing, you just come and then you go to insert, okay. Other thing with this, it's having something called analyze, right? And then you'll see pivot chart there. So what you do, then you just click pivot chart. It's going to show you, you just have to select which one you are looking for. I think we have this. You can have this, but you will see it's trying to show you, but it's not that clear. You can still make some inferences from here, right? You can still make some, inference from here to say this Gauteng, and then, this color is 80, and then the 100. There are lots of the guys who are, this age. And then the space just means that there's no, this age group is not there. Some of these age groups are not there, right? Like maybe you can infer here that I think from Gauteng, age 10 to age 39, that age is not there, right? I'm just saying the spaces between them. You can see how there's a space here. For instance, there's a space here. It just means that that age group is not there, right? The other way, as I mentioned, that you can change this by, is design. You can change this, right? To say maybe we should stack it. I think it's easier that way. You stack it like this. This greenish is 90 to 100, and then you can see the colors, right? Remember from the previous sessions, I said you can just choose this, whatever the style you are looking for. You don't have to do anything fancy. You just go to the chart style. You just highlight them. You highlight this, it shows it want to be represented like this, which I think this one is bold. Then you can select it, or you can just go over along all of them just to see which one you like, right? I think I like something like this. You click this, and then again, we can really see that this is something that presentable. I think even if maybe during this COVID, the guys can show us the numbers like this, I think it will really make lots of sense to most of us, right? It also just show you the values, right? Remember, if you don't want the values, you must take the data label out. I don't want to repeat what we did previously, but that's what we can do, right? If you need the values, you can put it here if you really interested in that. And then you should be knowing that this means the graduate, quarantine, right? So it will be showing to no, it shows like this, and then yes, it shows like that. Any question? Are we following? Right?
Yes, we're still following.
Okay, great, thanks. So the idea is that, just drag this to see, does it meet your requirement? This is really about the pivot table. Nothing fancy, but the key is get the table, and then so that you don't have to experience any issues. Let me take this chart out. Now, if you can see this table, there are some spaces. These spaces sometimes can be misleading. What are these cases means, right? Because maybe this here we mean we talk about the numbers. You want to put the zeros here, just to show that for this age group, there's a zero in this province, right? So as you know, right-clicking is a remedy for everything. You just right-click, right? And then you go to pivot table options, and then you will see, just that I already know where I'm going, right? You will see somewhere here saying, you make this format active, and then for empty cells, show what? Show 0. Yeah? And then boom, voila. Right? So that at least 0 means 0. There's no age group that falls under that province. So this is what I did. I can go back here, right click, pivot table options. Yeah, that's what you do. Then you put the 0 here. Right? You can put, I don't know, for whatever reason, if maybe we need a star, you can put a star. Yeah? But I think 0 makes sense. Put a 0. Because remember, you can't, sorry, yes, I think there's a question.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to check if it also take text. If you write something else than a 0 or maybe a character, does it take text? Say nil, for
we can try that. Yeah, I said no.
Oh, okay. No,
yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we can, and then of course, I think that question, because remember, you as I mentioned before, look at your data. What are you looking for? Right? Maybe your data represents something, and then to put a character here, it will make a sense. Or to put some weight. But in our case, I think 0, it will make sense to us. Yeah. So, and then I talked about this slicer. Yeah, it's a fancy, I call it, it's a fancy filter. So if you want fancy filter, you just click on it, and then it will show up here, and then you should be saying which filter do you want to use. As I mentioned previously, in our case, we use the gender. You just click it, gender, and then you do it like this, and then it's going to come. And then that's why I mentioned about this fancy thing. Then it will come like this. Yeah. You can go back again. You can go back. So we talk about the filter to say we have this nice one called the slicer. Yeah. It's a filter, by the way. Use a slicer to filter data visually. So that's what we do. Then I mentioned that in our case, let's say we said we need the, I don't know if even the title makes sense. You just do like this, and then it's going to show you all the titles there, and then you can filter your data based on that, right? If you click like this, it shows that it's only what? It's only the misters. These are the only the guys. And then you can see it automatically, you know, deal with the message. Remember last time I said there were 104, right? And then if you need then you do this. I think if you need both, let's try this. And then you, okay, let me show you what I did. If you need the misters, of course, you just click with ones. This you need. But if you need maybe both, and then you just obviously shift. You click a shift, and then you click it. And then it will show you like that. Are we fine?
I just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Can we have different slices at a time?
So let's do that. Let's try that. Let's do this. So I want, let's say I need the title and gender, right? You mean that? You mean like this, yeah?
Perfect. Yes.
Yes. So you can say I need maybe this one because it's really related, right? Let's do another. Yeah, but of course something like that. Let's go for something that will really more meaningful. Yeah. So let's get this, and then we say I need the gender. Maybe I need their age. Yeah. And then I need maybe are they in quarantine space or not? Then you get something like this, and then you can able to filter from here to say I need the females who are at this age 50, but they are not in quarantine. You see, I think this is really this is beautiful. This is really beautiful. And then from there, you know, there are only 6 people. And then the question is from which province, and then boom, you go straight there. Yeah. Say maybe you are interested in this age group. Fortunately, I believe there's no one in this age group here. Right. So something like this. How many people are this age and then they're in quarantine space? I think friends, this is maybe I feel like I've done what I wanted to do. Really something like this, people they'll think like you are using something because you'll be having your data, you're able, you know, just like that, answer the questions just like that. You can even maybe, you know, put all of them. Put this, I don't know whether it's going to make sense, right? Having no surname, I don't want any initials. I need the title. I need this guy. Remember, even the amount that they are owing. Then in, maybe in the province and age. Let's see. Yeah. So you'll be having something like this, and then you should be, you know, answering those questions. Remember, even maybe there is what you call there is a press conference, right? Maybe media people will be asking you, how many people do we have this who meet this? How many people who are owing? Where is the amount? Yeah, owing, right? Who are owing? Maybe someone want to bail them out. Who are owing less than or more than greater? 2,000 and less. You just click like this. Oh, how many people are there? There, and then there are males, there are females. Let's put all of them. Let's put all of them. How many there are there? There are 6. Those people who are what? Are in quarantine space, and then they're owing less than this. I think this, and then there are 90, more than 90, 90 what, you know, someone saying, I want to pay for these people. I want to pay the money for these people. I think I see the chart, my chart is Maybe you can talk, because I don't see my chat. I don't see where the chat. I see someone, I think, is typing something. I'm trying to go to the chat, but I don't see it. You can unmute yourself and say something if it's a question. Or no, yeah? So this friend is about the slides. That's why I think it's a fancy filter. It's fancy, but actually it's very powerful. From here, if you are, you know, statistician from there, they'll think like you're already using, you know, fancy application like SAS or, you know, ClickView or even SAP, but you might be having something like this. Someone saying, I need, show me people from Limpopo, and then maybe people will understand why maybe I have it. It's not obsession about it, right? Limpopo, and then who are maybe this age group. No, I think I hold once, I click, yeah? And then maybe something like this. There are still 6 of them who are owing this amount, right? So, or someone who would say, no, these people that owe a lot of money, who are these people? We find like, oh no, no one from Limpopo met this criteria. No one is, you know. Can you already see what this is telling you? It's saying, these are bold, right? These 3. It means that people, there's no one with a 500,000 and 3,000. Fine, let's do this. Do you see? It's already telling you that there's no one in Limpopo who owes this amount because they are great. They're great out. Yeah. So I think we can really play around. We can really do quite lots of things around it. And then if you have it there, then you can plot the table. I mean the chart. You can insert the thing. Yeah. I think talking about this thing, I feel like I'm done. But there's another thing that I want to show you. Any question regarding this? I think this is straightforward, right? You just say analyze, and then you come here and then you can just click them. Which one you are looking for? Yeah. I think there was someone who want to say something. Yeah.
No, it was just a comment to say, yes, this is beautiful indeed. I'm even thinking of maybe developing an application using the sliders already. So it's quite amazing. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this just because some people, that's why people, and then that's unfortunate part. When someone talk about Excel, everyone thinks like he knows Excel. I'm sorry, but I know this thing can trap you, right? Or it can do something very powerful. People, I know when we talk, I'm going to do Excel. There's this guy saying, he's showing people how to use Excel. They just think like, Excel, I know it. But I know most of the people who I know, they are victims. They lost the opportunities or even their credibility because they've been claiming that, no, I can do this, I can do that. And then they gave them something like this, and then they can't even do anything. They can't even do that. Someone saying, plot me the chart which shows the province, the age, and then group the age. Like even this grouping thing. Because if you can see, the age is, it shows you, if you ungroup this thing, it shows you like this, right? But someone will be saying, no, group them. And then we find like you have no idea what to do that. So let's use this. I know for the fact that I'm not an entrepreneur, but I know for the fact that people, they will have a data that you can, use it. You can use it this way, yeah? So let's maybe forget about this. We are going to our data again. Let's do that. I want to show you some things like this. Let's say you want the age. You see, automatically, because it's the number, it takes it to here, but I don't want here, I want it here. Because I ungroup them, right? That's why you see them like this. And then even if you can see, and then you can say, how many are they? Do you see what's happening now here? I don't know, so you colleague, you friends, you've been noticing. At times it shows you a count, at times it shows you a sum, right? So at the moment, I'm looking for the count. How many? Not the sum. Here it gives me the sum. But I don't want this. I want to know how this. I know this is my age. This is the age group. I mean, this is the age, right? But I want to know how many of people who are this age group. Yeah. So, for example, do you see here 30, and then it says 16? It means what? It means there is 2 people on this who are at this age, right? So, but I mean, this shows you the sum. How to change this? You just click here, and then you go to the value field settings. Now you can able to select. That's what I think, but it's always key. The tools are there. There's even this thing in my language. I don't know if it's a slang or what. You can have the tools, right? But the tools at times may not necessarily work, right? So you must know what you are looking for. You must know what you are doing, right? So you can have the tools, but yeah, unfortunately, have a problem with your tools. So you can just come here, count, and then boom. Then it's going to show you, oh, there are 2 people who are age date 1. And then who are those people? You click here, it gives you their names. Yeah? But this, you can't be giving this to, remember, this as, remember, if maybe the entrepreneur here, they must not take offense. Some of us who are this 8 to 5 people, right? I wanted to say, you can't give this to a manager, right? Or whoever the case may be. So you should be showing that, I mean, you did this thing. Then you can say, oh, the easiest way to group these things. I group this thing, this. 2 clicks, see how powerful this can give you, right? But the important thing, friends, I wanted to show you this, right? So there's amount here. Let's say amount. Let's say maybe you pull amount, but I think it should come as a sum. But this comes as a sum, right? At times you'll find that you want the amount, but they say it's a count. You don't want this. You don't want this. You want to say how many people are owing this, because this is actual amount, right? So what to change it to come here to this, then you say I need a sum. That's why it's always key that you must know what you are looking for. So then what this says is that this age group, I think this age group of ours is not that cool, right? Let's do it again. This says 0 here, right? The interval of this. Yeah. So this age group, 10 to they are owing this much. These fellows, they are owing this much, right? And then from there, then you can plot it whatever, any way you want it. You see? So that's really what I wanted to really talk about, right? We did I showed you, you saw how to do this, how to put the zeros here. And I'm not sure if there's any questions. I don't want to spoil like, I was showing out, I was doing another training during the week with another group elsewhere. To say at times, maybe the information overloading is unnecessary, right? So I'm not sure if there's any specific thing that you want to talk about. Remember here, this is what we did previous year. I mean, yesterday, the previous weeks, clicking here, you know what you are looking for, and I think as you know, let me share again. Yeah. So you can drag this thing. You can drag and then you put it here to see what does it give you. You don't like it, you put it like this and change it to see, oh yes, actually it's telling me something. It's telling me something. Let's see if that is working. Because this is now the gender. Then if you don't like it, you take it out here. Okay, no. You can take it out. And then the beauty part is that if you drag and do those, the table, this is updated automatically. Yeah. So any comment? Any?
Yes, just one question, Mr. Tops.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you are grouping the age group, right?
Yes.
So in my case, I'm trying to group, but then it's inactive. If you right click and try to group that, what would have happened?
So you remember, you must click the cell, ne?
Yes.
You are here. It is like this, and then you click here, and then it's inactive.
Yeah. So both the group and ungroup are actually inactive. So.
But did you? Oh, really? You? Oh, what might be the problem? Do you have any desk in there? Do you have any desk? I think maybe we can.
I think maybe if he can also, sorry, I think if he can try to refresh, because if there's any amendments that he made on the data before, so if you don't refresh, then it doesn't recognize. Maybe it could change.
Yeah, maybe analyze and then refresh.
I did that.
So let's see. Let me ungroup. So do you have data like this?
Yeah. Yes. Let
Maybe just go back so that you get something like this. So let's do this. Let's
yes, I have. Yeah, I have data like that one.
Let's just go back again. Let's just untick. Let me just untick everything.
Yeah.
Let's untick. Yes, sir. Yes.
I think he can share his screen, and then we all can see. Maybe then from there you can be able to assist on his screen. I think he can just share his screen. I think it will be possible for you to see what could be the reason.
Because I just wanted to go do one step by step. So we click here. We put it here on the row before that.
Yes.
So we are here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you must click one of the cells.
Yes.
We right click, so they're grayed out.
Yeah. You see yours actually haven't grayed out. So mine actually are grayed out. So you can't click on any of those two, whether the group or the ungroup.
Okay, so let's see. With this Zoom, do you have access to share there? What must I do? Must I stop?
I can share. I can share from my side.
Okay.
Okay, let me see if I can do that.
I think there's somewhere. I don't think.
I think no. I think as you as the host. Yeah.
Yes, I must give you. I must. Let me unstop. Stop sharing. And then can you share?
Okay, let me try.
Let me see something here. Or multiple participants. Yeah, I think share. Let's see.
Oh, okay. So I think it's allowing me now.
Maybe it's your Excel.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
right click.
Yes. I'm going to right click. You see, they've actually grayed out.
Let's see here. Can you save this thing elsewhere? Just save it maybe on your desktop.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just go right there again. Just right click again.
Yeah, it's quite strange. Or maybe perhaps it's my Excel. So
I think maybe which version, which
I think this is 2010.
Is 2010, yeah.
2030, yeah.
2030. No, but I think this functionality should be there. I think this functionality should be there.
Yeah, that's why I even thought that maybe you did, take one step before you get here. But
no, it's just the normal. I'm using 2016, and then it should do. I believe other colleagues it's working, right?
No, I will. I will figure it out. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think maybe it might be 2010. Maybe I don't know. If it's 2010, it might be that functionality not there. I think maybe it might be to do with your version. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maybe
get it out. It's not an issue. Yeah.
Yes. So yes, let's talk. Anything? Remember, I found this very fancy. Because typical me, I was doing this manual and yeah, I was very infamous fellow because I didn't know this thing. That's why from then I realized, you know what, I need to really look at this Excel. There are quite lots of things that you can do with Excel, but unfortunately, we always think like we know. You see, so we do this. Remember, we talked about, you know, you can give this, what do you call this? You know, with Excel. Oh, let's talk about this thing. Let's talk about, I think maybe something like this. Eh? We're having something like this, and then we go to design, right? You see, most of the time, you see the grand total, the column total by default, right? You have these things here, right? You can go to report layout. You are saying, I think maybe let's go to the grand totals. You say off for row. If you say on, let's just use this on so that it'll be easy for me to explain this one. Or maybe in our case, you can see this one is saying on for column only. This is this current one. Grand totals, right? But if you say on all of them, oh, maybe I think I see on is already did, right? Maybe this data should be, let's say, let's put am I right? Let's do this. Let me put the provinces so that maybe you will understand me. Yeah, let's do something like this. So you see, it's already, you already get a grand total here and then grand total here. There are cases, for whatever reason, right? There are cases where maybe you just need the row only. And then just click a row, you see this one disappears here. You see? If you want column only, you just click it here, this one side. I'm just this is just the typical things that are there that you can use. Yeah. And then let's see the report to say, if you want to put it, the difference are not that huge, but you can put it this way in the report layout as a table. You see, it's put this as a table with this, right? And then you can say outline. You see, it does not put this, what do you call these lines. So the point is that please play with it. Play meaning not necessarily play as a play, right? But look at this, just use all of this to see what you can come up with. And then the styles, there's nothing fancy around the styles. We talked about the styles previous sessions. You can just change the style, whatever you want. Yeah, you can put it like this. I used to think people that are doing some things, but it's great. Yeah. So, friends, this is what I wanted to share today. I don't know. Yeah. Anything from the floor? Otherwise, I think I want to stop here.
Quick question. So now when we are changing this, for instance, when you were replacing the blanks with a 0, if we put words, will they not affect the totals?
I don't think so. Let's
for instance,
there.
If we put yeses where there's blank spaces.
I get your point. Let's go there. Which one was that? Okay, let's do
I think we can even do it here.
Yeah, let's do it here. Yeah.
Where there's blank, maybe if we put no.
Let's say no. Yeah. No, it does not, because it's just looking for the values.
Okay.
Perfect. You see here the totals is here. We can even go here, and then put the totals for everything this side. So it does not.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say today. That's what I wanted to say. I think Yeah. So look, friends, that's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. So any question? Are we cool? If we are cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just a comment, Tops. These are actually good stuff. And what I've seen today, actually, the work that you were presenting today is also there incorporated in the business intelligence. If you look at the Power BI, for an example,
yes,
and the slicers that you were demonstrating are actually, they are from what Microsoft has done. In fact, they've taken the work from this pivot. They've been developed from this particular concept, and it's so interesting to see them here on Excel. Maybe as we proceed, and maybe we can even demonstrate that business intelligence using some other BI tools as well. So it was so fun today, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, I'm in touch with the other friends of mine who are doing the typical BI. Obviously, you'll be one of them, so that we can. Today this is the fourth one, and next week it will be the last one. But I'm already having a proposed other session, online sessions, bootcamp that we can look at them. I know one may not want to know about the macros, for example, right? How to use the macros, how to write a small script to do this, to do batch jobs and things like that. And I'm also in contact with someone who's doing security, for example. Remember, I think with this fourth industrial revolution, these fancy ways people are talking about there. My aim is that all of us, irrespective of which field you are from, either accounting, social work, and everything, will be in one way. I mean, other way will be impacted by this. Right? So my aim is that I'm trying to pull a group of those people. One will come here and tell us about maybe security, for example, cybersecurity, but on a very high level. I want someone to come here and tell about what is cloud computing. But there's always this brouhaha around these things, right? So it's key for us I think it would be fair to say, as an African people, per se, to really understand this at that level. So that because people always talk about, industrial revolution. Maybe one must come and unpack that thing here. What is that? Are we really in the fourth industrial revolution, for example? Where are we, right? So that we are all informed. And then when you have things like this, where now we manipulate the data, we're talking about business intelligence. Because sometimes people, they think like we're talking about something that fancy that maybe are done at Harvard, for example, right? Typical Excel can even do those things for you. So I'm trying to open that channel. I'm just busy with my school work now, but I'm thinking the end of October, I will reach out to someone like you. I know, like my friend, one of my friends, Mr. Ntsikelelo, is a PA, to say what is the impact? What kind of impact does this have on PA for business analyst, for example? What is this thing has on someone like typically me who's at the me, right? Someone like me with maybe having this title. What are these kind of things means to us? You see, so yes, I think you just mentioned something very important that I wanted to say. This will not going to be the last session around Excel. We're going to still have more other things, and then I believe people from economics, people from public management, people, they should have an impact on all of these things so that they're all empowered. I really don't want, more especially for graduates, right? I don't want people to go through what I went through, for example. I went to the different companies. I want to use those experiences, to have something like this online platform like this, so that we are empowering each other, So I think there's always that room. There's always that room, and we must really take advantage of that. Because I think we can have I was telling to other person that we can have a stock fair of this nature. Remember, stock fair is about money and all that, right? But the stock fair, not only stock fair. Why not? Why can't we do that, right? So that's a proposal that I'm
knowledge
putting.
sharing.
I'm putting something to say stock. I'll call it Stockfell knowledge sharing or whatever my fancy name is.
Yeah.
So that people from finance, they must come and give us the basic about financial management, right? Because one way or another, we're going to be facing with that. People from safety management, for example, everything has to do with the safety. What is that thing? How does it affect me, typically me who are coming from IT background, right? Public management, we're always crying about corruption and all that. What's happening in that space, right? So I think it's really high times that we should be doing something like that. I will, after next week's session, I'm already drafted something. I'll put it out there. We need to have a pool of entrepreneurs, for example, right? We know we are saying there's no jobs. Where are those guys? What is their story, right? So that we all can, get about it.
Yeah.
So I think we need to be doing, position ourselves for those things, so that if someone comes to you talk about fourth industrial revolution, what is that? So that you can really engage them, because people, they just use these fancy words without really talking, doing anything, like even cloud computing, right? My next session, I want to talk about the cloud computing for non-technical people, for example. That is that's my research for my PhD, right? So I think maybe I can just come and talk about that. And then you can come, Mr. Masuga, from statistical side of things, from AI and all that, right? So I know people who are consulting here. Someone must come and package this thing. People are coming from financial side. So I'm really passionate. I want us to have that kind of movement. That's stock fair. I think maybe when I want to call it a stock fair, people will relate with it, right? We need to have that type of a stock fair to be sharing this kind of information, right? So colleagues, I think I can talk the whole another 30 minutes, but I think it's already 25 to 5. Thank you very much. I think it was very engaging today, and let's do VLOOKUP next week. And then I think we may have another 15 minutes just to brainstorm now. Where from here? Yeah, I think we have a foundation. I really call this foundation. I just use the Excel because I know Excel is a very common application that people are using there. But there are lots of things that we can share, right? Additional to, I think we can do lots of things. Yeah, I run an NGO where as a few of you maybe may know, where we go to different schools and all that. But now we can't go to different schools because of this lockdown. Then what do we do, right? So I think maybe we should be engaging at that level so that we all empower ourselves, and then I think that we can really contribute for the betterment of this country. We can really do a lot along those lines. So, but maybe let's get this one for the next session. I think it will be a quick one, and then I think by 4 o'clock next week we'll have a 30-minute chat so that we can just brainstorm to from here where to. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, friends.
Thank you so much. This is really it's really great. I love the initiative. It's gonna enlighten a lot of us.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So thank you. Let's do that. Let's do more of that next week. Yeah.
Right. So now, since we have already booked, are we gonna be getting emails going forward for the
yes. I think
one?
If you check on your calendar, you should already have in next week's session. Yeah. Same login, same everything.
A calendar invite.
Yeah, it's all you should check your calendar. It should be there. Yes.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, let's talk next week. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.